Goblin here. Thank you for joining me for this giant-sized back issue review. I hope everybody had a very safe and happy holidays. I know I did. Got a lot of good stuff and was able to give out some good stuff. It was a great Christmas this year for me, and I hope it was for all of you. Y'all are just here to see me run my mouth about comic books, aren't you? Look at that. Let's see if I can get this done in one take. Alright, we're going to start this off. I'm just going to go in alphabetical order like I did last time. Not going to differentiate between different companies and everything. Just alphabetize all the books and just go right through them. Let's see what I can do here. See if I can do it in one take. First off, we're starting off with Amazing Spider-Man issue number 700.1. This is, I didn't realize until after I read this that I got the variant cover for this. The world's greatest superhero. I was ready and willing to get this, to jump on board on Amazing Spider-Man again, but I gotta say, I was disappointingly surprised about this. Let me explain. Big blizzard hits New York. It's the middle of November, I believe, is what the book says. But this obviously takes place a long time ago. You know, Peter's still a photographer at the Daily Bugle. J. Jonah's still the editor-in-chief there. Aunt May still lives in the old house that her and Uncle Ben shared. I mean, this obviously took place a long time ago. But the storytelling, for the most part, was pretty good. The artwork was really good. I did enjoy the artwork. But, like I said, for the most part, the storytelling was good. What disappointed me is that once the blizzard hit, now this is the only issue I've read so far. There are 4 more issues to cover in this run. But what I noticed in this book is that this big blizzard hits New York. And, of course, Peter's going to think about Aunt May. And is she okay? But that's literally the only person he thinks about, is his Aunt May. He doesn't think about any of his friends. He doesn't think about any of his co-workers, his job, anything else. He does think about, you know, can he, you know, this blizzard is obviously going to keep him from being Spider-Man. You know, can the city go without him? He does think about that, but it's that and Aunt May. That's it. That's all he thinks about. He doesn't think about MJ or, you know, who knows, Harry Osborn might be alive at this time. You know, he doesn't think about Harry, doesn't think about any of his friends, he doesn't think about anybody. They're not even mentioned. He just thinks about Aunt May. That's it. It really drags the character down. As far as character development goes, it's a step backward. You know, we all know Peter's a mama's boy for his Aunt May, but man, do you really have to hammer that fact in? I mean, it's ridiculous. But for the most part, the rest of the story was pretty good for what it was. I honestly enjoyed it. I thought it was solid, despite that nitpicking I just did. Alright, moving along. We got Batgirl, number 26. This is the conclusion of Wanted. Gail Simone, bow to you, my dear. You are still an excellent writer. Easily my favorite writer today. Daniel Sampere, the artwork in here was great. The storytelling, God, you want to talk about drama. You know, Commissioner Gordon is about to be brutally killed by, you know, Nightfall's lackeys and everything. Barbara comes in as Batgirl, and, you know, Batgirl breaks in and, you know, interrupts the scene, and, you know, Gordon is like, Jim is like willing to put his animosity toward Batgirl aside to deal with these interlopers and everything. And the storytelling in here was good. The action in here was really good. We get to see Barbara fighting as if she never lost a step as Batgirl. Just fantastic storytelling, great action, but it was the ending of the book that really got my attention. You know, Jim is still got this hateful grudge against Batgirl. He doesn't know it's his daughter. Now, why I say that is because they tease. This cover is actually accurate. They tease Barbara unmasking for her father. But I've seen this before in Batman-related books. Barbara pulls her mask off, but as she's doing it, Jim turns around and says, "No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know, and don't you dare tell me." You know, he's still got that animosity, but there's still a little sign of respect there, which is kind of confusing, but, you know, it's Jim's way of saying, hey, you did get my back. I don't hold you responsible. I don't label you a murderer anymore, but you are still responsible for my son's death and everything. But out of respect for the fact that you pretty much, I guess out of respect for her saving his ass, he chose not to look at her secret identity. And it's just very, very well done. I mean, like I said, storytelling, just magnificent. Gail, I salute you. Gail Simone will forever have my respect. She is probably the only writer that I've ever read from that has yet to truly disappoint me. This is really good stuff. A solid conclusion to this story. I loved it from beginning to end. Just fantastic stuff. Thank you, Miss Simone. Thank you so much. This was good. Alright, moving along, we got Batman, The Dark Knight, number 25. Continuing on with the Clayface storytelling. And, wow. Greg Hurwitz and Alex Maleev. Alex Maleev's artwork works in a story like this. It honestly does. But Clayface is wanting his old fame back. You know, he had it for a while with his fellow inmate when he was incarcerated, but when that inmate and that loyal fan of his previous work in the movies, when he died, he felt like that adoration had died with him, and he's trying his best to find a way to get it back. And the way and the plan he concocts to get this adoration back is really, really dark and really sinister storytelling, and I loved that. This is really good stuff. Bruce has to call in for reinforcements, but in the end, it is Bruce that finds a way to stop Clayface. I mean, I'm not going to ruin everything, but the stuff that Clayface does in here is just, yee, very creepy stuff. But you got to look at it for what it is. The storytelling, it was solid. It did flow well, and even when Clayface is captured, they're like, how do we know he's not going to just do this again? And I loved how they got a hold of him, and I love how they got him incarcerated. It's really good. I'm not going to ruin it. Just read this book and enjoy it for what it was. I thought it was a solid read. Good stuff from beginning to end. I can't complain. It was good. Sticking with Batman, we're going to Detective Comics number 26. John Layman, Aaron Lopresti, Art Thibert. Ooh, this is something I wanted from DC. Give us some more Man-Bat storytelling. Fantastic. I loved this. And I'm hoping we get more and more of it. The Man-Bat stuff has been incredible in my opinion. I've been loving it. And now it's a full-fledged main story of Detective Comics. Thank you. This was fucking great. Loved it. You know, there's people are going to this bat cave. It's not Bruce's bat cave. It's just a cave filled with bats. And they're getting eaten alive. I mean, chewed down to the damn bone. Nothing's left. No skin, no blood. Everything's gone. It's gruesome. And Bruce is starting to put two and two together and realize it might not be Kirk Langstrom that's doing this, but Francine Langstrom, aka She-Bat. She goes by the Bat Queen in this book. I don't know. I kind of like She-Bat better. Which do you think is better, She-Bat or Bat Queen? I'm leaning towards She-Bat. She-Bat sounds better to me. That's just my opinion. But, woo. I mean, once again, the drama in here is just great. The artwork in here is fantastic. The action in here, it's like there are a couple of moments in here where I thought the story was going in one direction and it went in another direction. It's just good stuff. I loved it. Fantastic. The only thing I didn't really like about this is the ending of the book with Catwoman. Something must have happened in Batman Incorporated or something like that. I don't know where the hell that came from, But the Man-Bat storytelling in here, just great. Awesome stuff. DC, when it comes to the Man-Bat storytelling, if you keep telling stories like this, feed me more. Feed me more. Just good stuff. Moving on, a tie-in to Zero Year. We're going to The Flash, number 25. Francis Manapul, Brian Buscioletto. This right here is a good example of telling a Barry Allen story, because this takes place several years ago. Barry doesn't have his powers yet. This was a really good Barry Allen story. You know, Barry is being brought in as a volunteer helper to the Gotham City PD. Gotham City is going through pure hell at the moment in this point in time. Remember, this takes place about, I think it said 6 years in the past, 6 years ago. So, you know, it's before Barry became the Flash, but we do get to see how Barry and Iris met in the New 52 universe. Very nicely done, and I like the fact that they are actually teasing a possible romance between the two of them, which kind of, now, after seeing how Barry and Iris clicked in here, now I kinda sorta understand Patty's jealousy in the current timeline of the Flash. I kinda sorta understand it, because maybe there was a romance between Barry and Iris that might have fizzled out before Barry and Patty started dating. I don't know. Maybe that's what I'm getting, but there's an illegal drug going around that's making people hallucinate, making people think they got superpowers and everything. And it basically sets their insides on fire and makes them spontaneously combust. I mean, it's just dark storytelling, but what Barry finds out about this drug is kind of depressing, especially for Harvey Bullock. It's just really, really good stuff. I really liked it. Barry and Iris had a really good chemistry in here, no pun intended. Just fantastic stuff. I actually enjoyed this. I think this was well worth my $4. I'd say pick this up and give it a read. You know, you're not going to get any Flash-like stuff. You're going to get a lot of Barry Allen stuff. And it was good. Alright, moving along to Green Lantern Corps, number 26, Broken Trust. Van Jensen, Robert Venditti are still working on this. This is an accurate cover. I mean, John Stewart is calling out Hal Jordan in this book. He's calling him out on this arguably idiotic what's the word I'm looking for? Announcement. This arguably idiotic announcement that the Green Lantern Corps is the law and any other ring bearer is going to be a criminal suspect or whatever. They're going to police everybody else who uses a ring. And John's even like, you bastard, what if another corps was doing the exact same thing and was trying to police us on using our rings? I mean, I get Hal's under a lot of pressure, him being the leader of the corps, but at the same time, this whole policing the other emotional spectrum users, it is kind of stupid, since that automatically profiles any other person that wears a ring that isn't green. Because not every other ring bearer is necessarily evil or a villain or a criminal or whatever. So when you look at it that way, from a logical standpoint, it does sound really, really stupid. And I love the fact that, you know, Hal even acknowledges that, yeah, it may sound stupid, and yes, he may have deserved a sock to the jaw, but Hal says, you know, he's under a lot of pressure. He's got to come off like a strong and, you know, worthy leader of the Corps. You know, so I can kind of understand that. But it deals with other members of the Corps, and we get Aricia. I haven't seen DC use her in a long time, and it was good to see her used in a main part of the plot storytelling again. It was really, really, really refreshing. The story goes, one of the Lanterns is taken to his home world, Druk, I believe is how you pronounce his name. And after seeing how they treat him and everything, he is now fully on board to being a Green Lantern. I've seen this kind of storytelling before. The stuff with Hal and John is the best part of the book. So overall, this book was pretty good, but not great. You know, the stuff with Druk, I've seen that stuff before with other characters on their home planets as well. It's not really anything new, but for what it was, I did enjoy it. Excuse me. Moving along to Guardians of the Galaxy, number 9. Brian Michael Bendis. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened to you, but you're getting really, really good. Especially with this stuff. The tie into Infinity. I really don't know what to say. I mean, this continues to be great. All this space drama, it's like Star Wars on steroids, but with comedic one-liners. It's great stuff. Wow, I can't go on and on. I can go on and on for a while about how good the series has been. Not to mention they got a movie coming up. But the stuff, it's like I love the interactions between Peter, Agent Brand of Sword, and Rocket Raccoon. It's like they know they're in a tight spot, but they keep trading one-liners together. I mean, that was really, really good. The action in here was really good. And I am Groot. I mean, it's like I'm at a loss for words with this particular book. I could go on and say things that most of the other people on the internet have already said, but all in all, this was a solid read. Really good stuff. It's a tie-in to Infinity, so if you've been reading the main story of Infinity, you probably know what's already going on. But the Guardians help the Avengers get back on Earth and everything. This right here explains how the Avengers were helped to get back on Earth, you know, toward the end of the Infinity story. So there you go with that. Just solid storytelling, you know, good stuff. Not much to say, just read it. Alright, moving on. Harley Quinn, number 1. Oh yeah, I knew I had to get this. Amanda Conner, Jimmy Palmiotti, and Chad Hardin. Oh, this was fun. I mean, this right here is a good example of a fun read. This right here reminded me that sometimes you want to pick up a comic book, read it, and just have fun with it. Laugh at it, you know, ponder over the storytelling, stuff like that, but just have fun. And that's what this book was. Just pure fun. Loved it. It was great. Yeah, Harley is the new owner of this building complex, and she's got tenants. She's going to be basically a landlord, but she also has to deal with the expenses herself and everything like that. There's a panel with a douchebag who doesn't know how to walk a dog in here, and that's blown up all over the internet. I've even talked about it myself on Tumblr. I mean, this is just really, really good stuff. You know, Harley makes mentions of Suicide Squad and the Joker and everything, but it's just mentions, and that's basically it. We don't really know when in the DC timeline this takes place, nor do I really care, because I read this book, got some laughs, geeked out over some action, geeked out over some gruesome moments that fit Harley's style. This was just pure, solid fun, and I loved it. It's just great stuff. You know, take it for what it is, but just remember that sometimes comic books need to be fun. And that's all, pretty much all, that's all you need. Good stuff. Moving along, we're going to Infinity, part 6 of 6. This was $6. I was really hesitant on buying this. I was like, $6. It better damn well be good. Jonathan Hickman writes the conclusion of this book. Of this story, excuse me. What I got in here was a big pile of whoa. And it was good. Fucking incredible. You know, Thanos, cocky as all hell. You know, the Avengers are trying to just pound it into him and everything. Even Thor is like laying out almost everything he can, and Thanos is just shaking it off like, is that all you got? You know, and stuff like that. Just good stuff. I didn't know what to think about the ending at first concerning Thanos' son Thane, about what he does to Thanos in here, and what the Avengers chose to do to him at the end of the story. I didn't really know what to think of it at first, but I'm like, this could lead somewhere where we can get a continuation of what's going on later on down the line. And there was a pretty nasty looking teaser page that looked like an outlining of the Watcher's body for, I believe it was March 2014. Don't know where they're going with that, but I'm sure everybody already knows about the stuff with Black Bolt. So, spoiler alert, if you don't want to get spoiled, but even though the Inhumanity story is pretty much already started by now, it turns out Black Bolt was going to set off that bomb, awakening all the Inhumans around, whether Thanos was a threat or not. And, you know, he tries to be secretive about it, but I guess Black Bolt wants some more Inhumans to rule over. Don't know what to think about that. I thought it was a pretty good twist. But for a conclusion, I thought it was solid. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Was it worth $6 in my opinion? No. I would have been happy. I mean, it should have been a $4.99 book. I could understand maybe a $5 price tag, but not a $6 price tag. This was just Marvel being greedy. It's a conclusion to an event, so we had to charge you an extra couple bucks. That's Marvel's philosophy. And I was also thankful that there was no big elaborate death of a hero that was probably going to be retconned in a couple of months anyway. So for that, I was satisfied. A good example of an event done right. Moving on to Red Lanterns number 25. Wear your new protectors, so no Green Lanterns allowed. Now there's a very unique explanation as to why the cover says that. Turns out the deal that Guy Gardner and the Red Lanterns made with Hal Jordan at the end of their fight with Relic, the Red Lanterns have their own sector to patrol. And we find out in here what sector it is. I don't remember the number. I believe it was 2814. But that includes Earth. Yes, the Red Lanterns is the Lantern Corps that protects the Earth. Holy shit. The stuff with Atrocitus and Dexter in here was great. Loved it. Dexter's teaching has to tell Atrocitus, don't be a baby, be a warrior. Dexter actually tells him that, and Atrocitus is like, thank you, Dexter, I needed that. You know, and then later on the roles are reversed later on in the story. Just great stuff. I loved it. And Guy Gardner, being the so-called leader of the Corps, he decides it's time to go police some assholes. And they go to a planet where there's this huge dictator who's like crazy power drunk. He's completely arrogant, so they're going to take him down. And the storytelling is going really good, and then we get to the cliffhanger at the end, and it's a big dun-dun-dun kind of cliffhanger. Fucking incredible. I loved this. Truly, I think possibly an underrated series. This was incredible. I love the twist that the Red Lanterns are the lanterns that now guard Earth sector. Imagine what kind of stories we could get out of just that plot point alone. Just really good stuff. Do yourselves a favor, jump on board with Red Lanterns. I think it's pretty damn good. Not to mention later on down the series, we're going to get Supergirl as a freaking Red Lantern. I'm really looking forward to that. Who knows, it might be bitchin'. But that was good. Sticking with the R's, we're going to Red Sonja number 6. Gail Simone once again. I bow to you. Walter Giovanni, I salute you as well. Your artwork's incredible. This is the conclusion to Gail Simone's first story involving Dark Anicia and the whole plague storyline and everything. Turns out the king that they thought was slaughtered, turns out he faked his death. He's still alive. And I mean, this guy is arrogant to the core, and he is a stock cliche cowardly villain. He talks big, but when you confront him, he cowers back and calls for his lackeys to protect his cowardly ass. And for some reason, it works for me here, because in storytelling like this, you can get away with that cliche. Incredible stuff. I mean, this guy is a total bastard, and he knows it. But when you get in his face and try to confront him, he backs off and he goes crying for help. Incredible stuff. Usually I would shit on something like that, but in a Red Sonja story, it actually works. It's good stuff. He's a king. He's using his power. He's taking it for granted. He's using it. He's abusing it, and it's great stuff. There is a death scene in here. I will not spoil what it is, but there's also the king gets defeated, of course, but I won't spoil how that happens because it's woo, nice twist in there. Sonja declares new queens of this kingdom. Very nice touch. And I loved the line at the end of the book. It's like, what should we do for you, mistress? Open up your taverns, because I'm going to get drunk. This was great. Loved it. Solid conclusion to this story. Gail, once again, I salute you out of respect, my friend. This was great stuff. Loved it. Just do yourselves a favor. Show Gail some love. Show this series some love. Fantastic stuff. I loved it. Sticking with Dynamite, we're going to The Spider, number 16. David Liss is still doing the writing in here. Ivan Rodriguez does the interior artwork. Oh, The Spider. Wow. Yeah. The Spider now has found the Red Hand. Because, and I mean, this, it's like, I thought the Fly made it personal. The Red Hand has probably made it just as personal. I mean, the stuff the Spider does in here, it's no different from stuff I've seen him do before, but man, this time Richard's got his back against the wall. He is down on his luck. He's broke, and he is, you know, the assistance he has to get, he is desperately in need of it, and it's nice to see what Richard can do when he's basically got nothing to lose. Like I said before, there's an old saying that goes, never fuck with a person that has absolutely nothing to lose. And that's the attitude that Richard has in this book, and it's just great stuff. The Red Hand is caught, but he's not killed. And we find out, and minor little thing to find out, turns out the Red Hand is actually gay. I don't really care. That's just, I think that was just there. I think that was just thrown out there for, you know, kind of a, kind of reaction. But his lover is a criminal known as Gas Mask, and he makes a deal with the new boss of Wentworth Industries, and things could be brewing up here. So this has been really, really good stuff. I enjoyed it. The action was good. The storytelling was good. Just fantastic stuff. Can't say nothing more about it. Alright. Moving on to IDW, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 29. It's the Kevin Eastman cover. Not much to say about this as far as action goes, because this right here, we've seen this kind of scenario before, but this is the Turtles getting away from New York. The Turtles, April and Casey and Splinter, are retreating to the countryside where April's parents live. Now, in other incarnations of this story, it's April's country farmhouse and there's nobody out there, but here is where April's mother and father live. We get to see things about that, and we find out that April's father is very, very ill. And there's something, and I'm starting to wonder if April's mother knows some certain things about the ooze, because it's certainly teased in here. But the biggest, the most gripping part of the storytelling involves Leonardo, because I'm starting to wonder if Shredder's control over him is actually fully gone. I don't think it completely is. But that's what's teased in here, and it's the most dramatic stuff about the book. But for what it was, I did enjoy it. It was a solid read. Not much to say about action, but as far as drama and good storytelling goes, you got it right. You got it all right here. Just really good stuff. I enjoyed it. All right, moving along, we got Uncanny XMen number 15. Girls' Night Out is a tie-into Inhumanity. It's basically all the females of Dick Summers' X-Men team just going out and having a good time, and one of the Inhumans bombs goes off and awakens some Inhumans, and after a misunderstanding and a bunch of chaos and a bunch of drama goes around, the Inhuman gets picked up, but the mutants are left alone. And we get this declaration at the end saying things are about to change. And I'm like, really not much to say about this book. I mean, this book was alright. You know, Bendis did a good job with the writing. But I really don't have that much to say about this. I mean, it's more or less, it's just the women of this Uncanny X-Men team just going out, having fun, yet bitching at each other at the same time. And then an Inhuman bomb goes off. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's not a 5-star classic, but for what it was, I thought it was pretty good. All right, we're going to end this with a double shot of Wolverine and the X-Men, issues 38 and 39. Now, what these two books are right here is Wolverine butting heads with S.H.I.E.L.D. now that all the X-Men know that S.H.I.E.L.D. has Sentinels. And both of these books deal with the main story of both of these issues is Mystique, who is impersonating Dazzler, has got 2 spies in the Jean Grey School campus. And they're gathering intel on all the students, all their strengths and their weaknesses, while Wolverine and Dick Summers go infiltrate one of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s holding places where they're having all these Sentinels and everything. So while Logan and Dick Summers are basically measuring dicks to see who can kill more Sentinels, you got the 2 spies for S.H.I.E.L.D. infiltrating all this data on the X-Men students. But at the end of issue 39, big dun 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 moment and the cliffhanger ensues, and it's just really, really good stuff. Both these issues, I judge them both the same. It's solid storytelling, solid read, good artwork. You know, the animosity between Logan and Scott never gets old for me, because I'm always interested on how much Marvel can really push their buttons and how far they can go sometimes with their dick measuring contests that they have with each other. You know, it's just it's what it is. Jason Aaron writing fun stuff with good action and good storytelling. That's pretty much what Wolverine the X-Men has been all this time. And I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. And I think you would too. Do yourselves a favor and pick these up. Well, that's all I got for this review, everybody. I want to thank you all for watching. And I'm glad I got this done in one take. Please subscribe to this channel, blugoblinX. Don't forget about my main channel, Blugoblin01. As soon as I get caught up on books, I will get back to doing my regular thing as soon as possible. And I'm hoping to start doing some new reviews for Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. Don't forget about my girlfriend Jennifer and I. We have that Arkham Asylum studio channel. Please subscribe to it. You won't regret it. We promise you. We'll try to find some new topics for videos to do over there. Don't forget about my bro, my student, TheMtVernonKid, as well as, you know, Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, Mark and Chloe at Fast Stack of Comics, Deadpoolzilla, I'm loving your Doctor Who videos, and Brandon Hex, always a treat to watch your awesome comic book music videos. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and until next time, I will see you all later.